Guess what time it is, everyone? You guessed it, it's Mr. Guppy time.
Are you having a problem with your LG TV? Does it not connect to the Wi-Fi? Does it just randomly freeze up when you're streaming video? Or perhaps the TV might even reset and power cycle on you. Well, if you're having those problems, stay tuned to this video because we're going to fix this together. It's not as hard as you think, and I think that you can do it yourself. Not all of the LG TVs that's been manufactured in the last 10 years have a problem with the Wi-Fi, but a lot of them have been known to. And if you call tech support, they'll tell you to go through a lot of different settings to reset the TV, reset the country that you're in, and so forth and so on. But this is the true fix right here, and it's more simple than you think. First of all, the problem I'm talking about is if I go into all settings, and then over here on the menu bar, if I go down to network, and then I go to Wi-Fi connection, it will say not connected. And a lot of people are going to be blaming their router or their internet company, and you guys may have called your internet company complaining, but if you notice that everything else works just fine with your internet connection, that just your LG TV is the only thing that's not working right, it is not your internet connection. It is the LG TV. And the most common thing you will see is it saying not connected. Wi-Fi is turned off. Turn it on to see the list of available networks that you can connect to and additional related menu items. A lot of times you will see this and it's acting like the Wi-Fi module is not working at all. Sometimes it will say it's working and it will reset your TV, and sometimes it may be there and just not work. But this is a common problem that LG should address, especially since it is a Q&A, quality assurance problem. I'll get into that in just a few minutes. But as you can see, this will not connect to Wi-Fi. You could still plug it in hardwired to the network, but who wants to do that in this day and age? I'm going to show you how to fix this problem. The first thing you want to do is to turn off the TV. I want to do that now. And then I'm going to unplug the TV. I'm going to give it about 3 minutes to discharge. Before we move on with the video, I want you to know this might not work with your specific LG TV. This just works on quite a few different models. So if this doesn't work on your particular model, please understand that it won't work with them all. Because in the past, when I have done videos like this on different electronics, people will message and say it doesn't work. And I'm just telling you up front, this may not work with your specific TV. However, this does work with a lot of different LG TV models. The first thing you want to do is to prepare a space that is flat, and then you're going to put down something soft. In this instance, I'm going to put down a comforter, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay the TV on top of that comforter so that it doesn't scratch the screen. It's going to protect that screen when I lay it down and when I'm working on the TV. And you want to be careful when you lay it down. You want to lay it down easy. And if it's heavy like this one, you may need a partner to lift up the other side and to move it forward onto the comforter. Now, depending on what TV you have, these are all going to come apart a little different. This one right here is the model LG65S J8500-UB. This TV was manufactured in September of 2017. Next, you're going to want some tools. You're going to want a screwdriver with some bits, especially the Phillips and the flathead bits. That's what I have here. And then you're going to want these plastic tools called spudgers. These are going to help and assist with taking the back of the TV off. You don't want to use metal because metal can break plastic a lot easier, and the back of the TV is plastic. So get you some plastic spudgers. If you work on smartphones, these are also used to take those apart. Lastly, get a toothbrush that no one uses anymore and that you just use to clean electronics. If you don't have one, then I suggest you should pick one up. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is to take the screws that hold the mount on so that this can lay flat. There are 4 screws, and they are Phillips, and I'm going to be taking those out. Another thing that you can do, if you've never took anything apart before, you can take a picture with your phone at any time to show where these screws go, or you can put them in separate screw piles when you take it apart, and that way you will not get confused. Or if you have pretty good memory, then you won't need to do that step at all. And what I'm going to do, since this is a heavy TV, a 65-inch, I have my hand underneath of the stand so that when I get the screws out, the stand will not be caught in a bind. Also, it lets the screws come out easier because there's no weight push up against it, because the weight of the TV is not pushed up against the stand. And just like that, with the 4th screw out, here is the stand, and I'm going to set it to the side. Now, if you look at the outer edges, or as some people would say, the outer perimeter of the TV, there are a lot of Phillips screws. On this particular TV, these screws on the outer perimeter, they don't need to go in any certain sequence or back in any certain sequence because they're all the same length. Now, this part right here is probably going to be different for you unless you have the same model of TV as I do right here. But I'm showing you this so you will understand that the back of your TV needs to come off so that you can get access to the Wi-Fi module. That is ultimately, we're taking the back off is so we can get access to the Wi-Fi module. Because on this TV, that is where the problem is. What I was saying is, on your TV, this step will probably be a little different because it will be a different model number. You may have to take the entire back off of your TV like I do to get to the Wi-Fi module. You may just have to take a little square piece off to get to your Wi-Fi module. But just remember, that's exactly what you have to do, is to access that Wi-Fi module. Once you get the obvious screws out of your TV, there may be other screws holding it in. Once you get the obvious screws out, like these here on each side of the TV and the top, there may be other screws holding the back on the TV. For instance, here's a screw here up by the HDMI ports. And let's see right underneath here. There are a few screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 screws underneath. It's holding the back on. The fourth and final one. And then I'm going to just gently lift under here and set it back down. Also on this one, right here you can see where the power cord is hooked up. There's a Phillips screw down in there. I'm going to go ahead and take that out. You'll see that screw. And it just pulls up. I don't really see any more screws. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this plastic spudging tool and I'm going to use it right here. Just like this, it's going to go in this plastic. If you can see this, it's going to go in this plastic right here and it's going to separate this, and you'll see that you gently lift up on this particular model and the whole back is going to come off of the TV. And I'm going to lay this over to the side. Now, as you can see, once the TV is open, there's not really much to it. There's not really much to the internals of the TV. The main part of the TV is the screen. As long as your screen is okay, you're good to go. Here's the power supply, the T-Con connector. Some people call this the logic board, the motherboard. But anyways, we don't need to worry about any of that. What we are in here for is this. What we are in here for is this. It is located over by the right speaker. And what this is the Wi-Fi module. It's in this little plastic cage. There's one Phillips screw holding it in. I'm going to go ahead and take it out. And this little guy has a plastic standoff holding it in. And I'm going to take this little tab and unplug it. And then I'm going to unplug it from here. This is what we call the ribbon cable. There's a little plastic clip right here. There's a little plastic clip right here. I want you to be gentle and barely push that up so that doesn't break. And then you can pull this to the side. Just want to show you guys, this is the Wi-Fi module that's inside of your TV that actually sets to the right of the speaker. Now, the problem with this TV is this little cable here. Some people call it a ribbon cable, but its job is basically to communicate with one part of the motherboard to another. And the problem is the kinks in these wires. Over a period of time, once heat traps inside the TV, these kinks will degrade the wire and the signal, and it will freeze up on you, could restart your TV, or it will not detect the Wi-Fi module at all. So what we're going to do, I'm going to use an X-Acto knife, and I am going to carefully cut these this blue piece of tape that they have, taping this together so that I'm going to straighten out this cable. That's what you want to do. You get on the other side here, and you just gingerly do this, and take your time. And separate these, and you can see where they were cramped, and you're just going to go over it, and you're just going to straighten them out the best you can. You're going to want it to start to look like this, and you just push pressure down on there with your finger. If you want, you can lay it on the speaker and take that spudger and, you know, push down gently, and you can straighten this wire out. And like I said, take your time, believe in yourself. It's not too hard to do. And we're going to go all the way down this wire, and don't push in too much because you'll cut the other wires. Just barely enough where you cut this little plastic tape that's holding the ribbon cable together. It takes just a minute amount of force for this cable. You see, my friends? Just like that, and keep on doing it until you reach the end of the cable, because we're going to make this cable straight and non-crimped. Now here's some crimps right here at the end of this plug here. There are yet 3 more crimps that you want to make straight. Like I said, you can do it with your fingers, or you can put it on that plastic, and you just take something that's flat, and you just gently rub down it like this plastic spudger will do. And we're just going to get these nice and straight and even. And we're going to do that for the other side of the wire too, where it hooks up to the power. You just gently go down that blue tape. There, I actually got a piece of the blue tape to come off because it was getting in the way. But as you can see, I've started to uncrimp up here by the connector. Where the connector goes into the motherboard over here, this was all crimped up, and now it's not. On this particular TV over by the power button, it's fine. It's not too crimped right here. And now that I have that cable ready to go back on, what I'm going to do before I put it all back together, this hasn't been apart since it's been manufactured. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and take an air compressor and take some compressed air and blow out any dust or dirt that may be in here. Now that all the dirt and dust has been blown out, it is time to hook up this main cable again. You'll put it over this, make sure it slides in this plastic connector right here. And then remember this really fragile plastic. Did you hear that click into place? That fragile plastic locking mechanism will lock the wire into place. Now you don't have to crimp. In fact, do not crimp the wires now. And we're going to plug in the other end of the wire to the Wi-Fi module. And we're going to set it down in here. It takes one screw to seat it in. The Phillips screwdriver. Put that down in there. The Wi-Fi module is back together. What I'm going to do so this doesn't crimp up anymore, I'm going to put a piece of tape right here. And then also right here. Okay, the kind of tape I'm using is actually shipping tape. And I'm going to use it because it's really thin. And I'm just going to use it to push down here so this isn't crimped anymore. As you can see, this is just regular shipping tape right here. And I'm going to get some more. And right here, I'm going to make sure that these can't get crimped anymore. There, that tape's on there good now. So there you go, with this tape on here, with this shipping tape on here now, that's stopping these from getting crimped. And then a piece of shipping tape over here to keep it from getting crimped up here. That should be the fix, everyone. We're going to put it back together now and see how everything does. And just like this, you put everything back together the same way you took it apart. And then we're going to set the TV up and see if that takes care of the problem. And now it's time to check and see if our labor paid off. Go to all settings. In the bottom corner, it will bring up this menu. And we're going to go down to network. Wi-Fi, not connected. And now it should say searching. And before it wouldn't search. And as you can see, oh my gosh, look, would you check it out? Right here, you will see the names of your networks again. And this should take care of your problems. I'm going to choose my network. It's going to connect on up to the network. We are connected. And that is exactly how you fix some of the LG TVs that have the wireless problem that resets your TV or resets your Wi-Fi connection or your app that requires Wi-Fi, such as Netflix. You just do the exact procedure that I did and you should be good, hopefully for many more years to come. Anyways, if you like this video, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Smash that like button. Consider subscribing to my channel. And I will see you later.